computer, lights.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Brent. Good to have you here this morning. What is going on outside? Oh, that's nice. I believe that our neighbors have turned on the wood chipper. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. I mean, I appreciate my neighbors and all, but this show is going to have wood chipper noises through the entire thing. I can tell already. That's not good. Anyway, good morning, Brent. Okay. Let's see. Wow. All right. So we are working today on the pilot house, which is the first part of the first issue of my comic. We've got the pilot house, which is this area up front on the front of the kittiwake. So if you look at the ship, there's the nose piece with the hammerhead face, and right in the front there is the pilot house. Right? But I mean, you can hear it pretty clearly, right? I can see it on my board, so clearly super loud. I hope they get done with it, whatever they're doing. Okay. We're working on this section of the ship. So I've color-coded everything so we can look at all the different pieces of this, so that we can map different pieces of it. But then we have a human over here to kind of just give an idea of what, I mean, we actually have another human in the seat there to make sure that everything is the right scale. You can get an idea of where people sit in this, or rather where people stand next to it. Now we know where you stand. So if you're joining me to do work with me, that is awesome. I hope you get a lot of work done today. So I'm going to also at least prep Clip Studio so that it is ready to go. There we go. And we are... George is trying to figure out what the heck's going on, too. Come here, George. Can you stop with the claws? Oh, man. You are here. You're working every day. George says hi. He's trying to read what you're saying up there. If you look really closely, you can see what Brent is saying. What do you think? think he's really just fascinated with the fact that the camera catches the fan, and he can see the fan moving in the visual there. But in my head, George is reading stuff. See, he says hi to you. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Yeah. Isn't that nice? Yeah. You're a good cat. Yeah. Tormund would say hi. Tormund is his cat. What else is there? All right, so here's where we are so far on page 4. We don't have any of the text in yet. And all of these are holding. I wish there was a way to there's no way to really turn off the purple around everything except to save it, which flattens it out. Anyway, so here's where we are so far on this. I was talking to my buddy Bob, and he was talking about giving the characters business, something to do. So I figured it would be, you know how we talked about this last week when we were on page 3. We were talking about giving her coffee so that she's got something to drink and something to do. So now she's drinking coffee. So I have to do a wide here and a wide here today, hopefully. But first, we've got to go to the 3D model and work on that. So we're working now on this 3D model of this, which we don't need him anymore because this is this is what they call the hardwired seat. This seat is all hardwired switches and buttons so that it doesn't have it's distracting. I'm having a hard time because of distraction over here. Okay, so we're going to go over to the UV section of this. I'm going to do UV editing. Okay, working only on this guy. We're going to select UV maps, and there's a way to select the groups. I'm trying to remember how. Is it one? It is UV. So if we select, or did they get rid of it? I hope they didn't get rid of it because I don't want to do scenes. Okay, so under UV, we need to I feel like we're here. That's kind of wild. Maybe there's a way to do it through here. Oh, here's where we can do projections. That's actually kind of cool because I was having some problems with that myself. I select all of this when we say UV, Smart UV project. Kind of wondered if I could get this. Sort of can. Sweet. Okay. Select by trait? No. Select some more materials. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say select similar material. Yeah! Okay, UV. Smart UV project. Okay. Yeah, now we're cooking with Mozilla. It's a little tall. That's okay. And turned sideways, it looks like. It's all right. We can. Well, I'm doing pages today, so we'll be doing those last 2 pages a little later on today. I just want to do this part. So the first issue is all in the pilot house and the bridge of the Kittiwake, at least for the first, say, 12 pages of it. So we need to get the pilot house, which is a very complex model, ready. We need to start getting on it now. So we're going to do that. We're going to alternate today is what we're going to do. All right. Oh, good. They shut it down. Whew. Right. I have a feeling this is sideways. These are the foot pedals. Huh. Huh. It's always kind of fascinating trying to figure out what to do with these. There we go. Now, some of you guys have been with me for a while here. You kind of know how this works. The header panel is completely reversed. I can already tell. Which means it's upside down. 10 to 1, this guy's reversed too. And we won't know for sure until we try to map these guys. That's probably the most frustrating aspect of this, is we won't know for sure. Only about a year you've been part of this show? Well, yes, but I've only been really kind of doing it for about a year, so that's pretty much the whole time. Okay, so that's that header piece. The most important part of these are the control panels, because we'll need to know. We'll need to know what all of it looks like. Right, so we need to kind of also do these guys on this side too. And we're only going to do this for a little bit. We're not going to do this forever. I just want to make sure I have done some work on this. Oh, hey Brent. When does now your kiddo's not in the same school district as mine? So what's when does your kid start school? So your kid does. Oh, they started last Wednesday. Wow. My kiddo started today, so we just took him off to middle school, and off he went. His first day at middle school. Kind of wondering it's now 9:20. You know, kind of sitting there thinking, I know what he's doing now. And I fear that we end up with one of those cut scenes to my kid setting fire to something, or you know what I mean? It's like you can't stop thinking about stuff like that. My kid wouldn't necessarily do that. I don't believe. All right. Let this guy move him over here so that whenever I select everything, he's not in the way. Okay. I believe. Yeah, okay. We've got all of these panels are correct. This panel's correct. Then this panel, and this panel, and this panel, and that panel. Good. Oh, okay. Makes sense. She's probably sitting there going, damn it, I wanted to get away with stuff too. I'll just put that there, maybe? Maybe. And we'll put the header panels here. And the foot panels right here, and we'll make them slightly larger so that they're kind of obvious. There. Those are all the panels. Now we can save and exit. That's all I really wanted to get to was the panels. If we can get the panels done, the rest of this is going to be, not easy, but doable. Doable. Okay. Let's start up Daz. It's gonna be a long day. We've been marking the walls in here to get an idea of where the standing desks are going to be. So the standing desks are going to be sitting right about there. And if this works right, this standing desk that ultimately will be right here, coming out to about here, this standing desk will go all the way past the window back there. So I'll be able to put the tablet here at the window back there and be able to look out over the park across the street and watch the snow or whatever, kids playing, whatever goes on over in the park over there. For a minute there, I was concerned. Okay, so we're going to see if we've got sitting up on actually sitting with the legs to one side is what we're looking for. As far as a pose goes, we're going to start with that as a base, and we're going to move from there. And for those of you who are not familiar with the way this works, the maquettes are naked. So if you are sensitive to naked 3D models, this is your warning. I know that Brent, I know that you're sensitive to that. Yeah, I thought about that too. I thought about but there is a lot of stuff going on my desk here. And since I've got 3 monitors, it became one of those, I don't think this is going to work like I want it to, sort of things. Boobies. Yep. So, I'm going to try to get the sitting up sideways sort of. I don't see a pose that I'm going to start with. I'm going to end up having to manually pose this. I'll be all aggravated about that. Ugh. I see sort of the start of where I want to go. Like here is the start of what I want to do. And it moved her somewhere else in the entire map. Nobody will ever notice. Why did it put her so... Well, I don't know. Weird. Splish. Splish. Okay. We're going to have to move the model around a lot. Okay. This is what I wanted. I wanted her legs folded up like this, but we're not going to have her... I mean, she's sitting up, but we're not going to have this much of the... She's drinking coffee Although in this case, that's why I was laughing, because now switched, and now she's got the coffee mug right here pointed that way. So splish, out goes the coffee. As went to hang out with my artist buddies yesterday, and we were talking about the way that we all do things. Something is dinging, and I don't know. Oh, that's not good. Um, hang on quick. So we're coming up on NDK, and so traffic here is getting complicated. So, all right. Yeah, a buddy of mine seems to have dropped off the planet about a year ago. And now I feel like they're on my roof. No. It's the wife, but it's not. It's nothing bad. She has new staff members for NDK this year, and um, the new staff members haven't heard from her because she's been super swamped, and so she messaged me and said, "Hey, I need to get a hold of your wife," and she's not responding. So that's all. And it's just that my wife has been super busy and really, really swamped. And so, if you're just joining me for the first time, I designed these maquettes to be my characters specifically. The texture maps on them I drew so that I could get the right design. And there's a manga out there called Gantz, and I have now just found out a couple of days ago that he does the exact same thing, and no matter what, and let's see if that makes her happy. Okay. Yeah. And then a buddy of mine just vanished off the planet, but looks like his cousin saw him last week, so he's still alive. But it is sort of a moment there. All right. So we're going to so that's part of the problem with the ongoing social media issue that we have. He gave up on social media last year, and in anger and frustration with all of the whoever whatever was going on, and he bombed out of social media. The problem is he lives in the mountains here, and so without social media nobody knows that he's still alive. So he dropped out of social media about a year ago in anger, and nobody has heard from him since because he hasn't come down into Denver, and he doesn't come down here anymore, and he wasn't doing good financially before. And yep, they're up on the roof on my house. Sounds like I have bad gas, I guess. Anyway, so he wasn't doing good financially before, and now he's missing, and it's like, but follow-up message just said that he was heard from last week, so that's a good thing. So we're going to operate under the theory that this is super distraction day. There's a lot of things going on that are really distracting me. This is very hard to do work. Okay, pose controls. Let's ungrasp her hands here. So yesterday they came to do work on the roof about the trying to put the solar panels in, and it looks like the designers didn't measure the roof. So what we've got is they put in a fan, a vent fan. It looks like they did it wrong, so now the manager is up there right now. The left hand needs to be holding a coffee cup. This is you. Okay. And the right hand will do the same thing, holding a coffee cup. There we go. Sploosh. Okay, up this way, and then we're gonna. There we go. And actually, it looks like the mug needs to be tilted slightly because the mug itself might be in a weird rotating position. Like here might be better for it. The thing about sizes and the maquette sizes is that she is small enough that her coffee mug is almost too big for her hands. Right? Like it's taking a lot of effort to get her hand around it there. Okay. Now we can put this hand into place. I was talking to Bob yesterday, and he was saying he tried doing this once. It was very frustrating. And honestly, I don't find it that frustrating. So, I don't have as much of a problem with this. I can see what Bob's argument was, though. If you're not willing to sit here and fine manipulate this, it can be difficult, and I get that. I swear, my roof is going to leak like a sieve. I can already tell. Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob. Okay, that's something only you get if you watch For All Mankind. Hi, Bob. Okay, let's talk about this. If she's holding this like this, I feel like her hands would be more like this, more steepled, and her elbows would be down. So let's talk a little bit more about this pose, because really I think what we've got. Can't win. I don't even know what they're doing up there. It's like elephants. The thing is, I keep asking people to not, in fact, do stuff from 9 to 11, and everybody has to do stuff from 9 to 11. I mean, it's like, so let's bring this down. They're obviously using an air wrench up there on my roof. So let's talk a little bit, because I kind of want to do like this. So we talk about a little bit about like the conservation of time. Like, does it really save me any time if I spend 20 minutes doing this? Except it does, and I'll tell you why. Because in the end, when we are ready to render this scene, it counts for 2 panels at least, right? And I don't even know what we're looking at on when we look at let's look at the comics. Let's look at the sketches, right? So we're just going to bring up the sketches here. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to see what we got, right? So here's this page, right? So this panel that we're doing, right, or this work is going to be this panel and this panel. She's still drinking coffee through here. And so this entire page, they don't move much from here. So this is worth it. This will be 2 pages worth of rendering, where all I've got to do is just change their facial expressions and stuff like that. So it is worth getting this pose exactly right. Hard part is that because I've turned on glowy glowness, I can't really see her hands. So I can't see. So we're going to have to... Let's turn down her ambient color just a little bit so I can see where we are. No, that didn't help me. Turn our ambient color back up. I guess I can't. I'm not going to be able to escape construction noise. Okay, put her head forward. I'm going to push this out just a little. Right? I mean, I had one request for this construction, that it all didn't take place at 9 a.m. All of that noise is being broadcast all across the universe. That's so nice. I'm going to move this out. Okay, so she is making a kind of ten to 1. Yeah, I know. I've thought about that too. Except that in the evening, I have to do all the dad stuff and make sure the family is fed and the kid is doing his homework. And the whole point behind this 2-hour block was to make sure that I do work every day. That's the whole point. Maybe this is more like this. What do you think? I mean, do people do this? So, because I have thought about that too. I've thought about just moving to a night show. No, people don't do that. This just better. Okay, let's take a look at the render and take it down to 1000. So we can check what her hands look like. Yeah, because her hands aren't even touching. Okay, so why is she so super glowy here, but not glowy in the actual rip? This is making it difficult to steer. Naturally, whatever they're doing, they have to do it right above my office. You mean once a week go nighttime? You're probably right. And the truth is, I have to decide, what am I doing here? What's the goal of this show? I was just thinking about this last night. I was out on Reddit on art fundamentals, r/art fundamentals. And, they were talking about, buddies, like, what's the word? Accountability buddies. And I was saying that's sort of the point of the show, right? Is to make sure I stay accountable and make sure I still do the work. Right? That was the point. And so, well, that actually looks good. That looks solid. She's interweaving like this. I'm not talking about you going and getting on Reddit. I'm just talking about where I got the information from. So, but I was thinking about, that's the whole point behind this, is accountability, right? That's what we're after here. Let's open up the script, make sure we got all the writing correct. Okay, so looking at the script, we have, this is wide. Like this. This is the final render that we're looking for. The scene we're looking for looks like this. Maybe. Oh. You never read it, and that's sarcasm? Can I comment on your sarcasm? Okay, let's go back. We've got seating poses. We can put her back like that, but naturally that knocks her like halfway across the thing, so she won't be like this anymore. Okay, so we've got kind of cool because she's got her arms crossed here, which I think I will use for the next shot. But I'm going to lean her forward a little bit on this. And the reason is because she's saying, hey, Skipper, you have to go easy. Right? I'm actually going to back this up just a little here. I can put her legs up. Which means her arms need to go up too. There. I don't remember this song slowing down. Oh, no, I think it just went from local forecast to local forecast slower. Because it does this, it randomly jumps from song to song. Okay. So she's leaning forward just a little bit to say, hey, Skipper, you need to. Right, so we're gonna put that in there like that. And she's saying, screw you, I hate you a lot. Okay, from here, I'm gonna do this. The camera is set for 35 millimeters. Right, so that's a very wide shot. And we've set it for the 16:9 aspect ratio. Part of this is, I think that the guys that are up there are very frustrated because they're a different company. We've had 3 different companies come out here under the umbrella of the overhead company, and these 3 different companies have come out to fix stuff. And I think that they're aggravated because they had to come out and fix something that a previous company messed up. And I understand that, and I appreciate that. But they're also disrupting my work. Anyway. It's pretty funny because I remember back in November I remember asking them, how loud will this be? And oh no, it won't be loud. I'm like, okay, because like I broadcast every morning. Okay, so this is page 4, panel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is panel 5. We have to remember the coffee inset is yep. I remember you living here too. And we're going to change her demeanor to this. One of the stupids that happens often with doing is when people do their poses but then don't rig them properly. So when you don't rig your models properly, you save the pose by default with position location. When you do that and you change your model's poses, instead of just changing it there, it returns it to whatever position it was at when you saved the pose. So that's what's happening here with these particular poses. All of these poses were set at 0, 0, 0. So when you click on this, maquette has to move back to 0, 0, 0. And then you have to move it back into position. It's all right. We're going to do a couple of other things too. Like, she's now annoyed. Whew. Right, so let's change the body language of her. Her body language went from "you need help" to "fine." Right? Because the line here is, "I don't remember what happened last night because I was too drunk." And then she says, "You really need to lay off." She says, "Skipper, you need to lay off." And that's when Chang says, "I'm not your skipper anymore." And that's this. Like, not putting up your bullshit. That's really what it boils down to. Oh, good. They're on some other section of the roof now, instead directly overhead. Now let's take a look. Because right now she's looking into her coffee, but I think she needs to be cognizant and aware that she has pissed off her friend. First of all, this is twisted. I'm going to take her eye target, which right now is, I don't even know where her eye target went. It's on the floor. Now, when I line up her eye target to the face, I'm going to line up her eye target slightly to the right, because from the camera view, we want to be able to see that her eyes are looking up, right? But this has to be an identical shot to the previous one. So we're going to hit render, and then we're going to stand up, because it's time for us to take a quick break. Oh my gosh. So we all need to stand up and stretch. We'll walk around the place a little. Stretch a little, that kind of stuff. Come back in, we'll sit down. We'll see you on the Twitch side. Back to the monitor. We're almost done with this render. Okay, lights are back. Render's good. This is panel 6. Now, usually I do my paneling in comics by the manner of which the speed of this is going on. Okay, so we've got these two panels here. This is where we're going to be. We're going to be on panel on this panel, which is panel 5, and this is panel 6. I'll start with panel 5. Where'd it go? Where'd who go? Okay. Are we saving? There we go. I'm like, where are we saving the panel information? Okay, so here's the render of this first panel. I'll copy. We'll just open this up, and we're going to put it right here. Paste. Okay. And we're going to scale it so it's the correct size. And whatever scale we decide on, we're going to have to make sure it's the same for both of them. So at the moment, I'm trying to figure out where my controls are for this. We're at 55% on both of them. And this is kind of important because what's going to happen here is this. We're going to bring this guy in like so. Hit OK. Then we're going to close this because we don't need to bring in panel 5 anymore. And we'll open panel 6. No, we screwed up. So we'll get out of panel 5 and we'll get into panel 6. Right, and we'll put it in here. Panel 6. And then this guy will also bring down 55%. Right, so and this way they match. You see how you can now see the motion between the two? That's the point. I don't even know what to do. All right. Spinning up the actual. This becomes a shogunai sort of thing. The Japanese term for this is shogunai, which nothing we can do. So we'll go ahead and put in the white cover on that. We'll do the same thing here. Put in a new raster layer. And then we put in the white. Do this. Put in the black. Switch to my crow quill. Okay. Now my crow quill should be set for 20. Let's go in here and talk about this. Now, part of my problem I'm seeing is now with this rendered, I can see physically her thumb is sticking out. So we're going to have to go back and fix that because it's going to stick out. But we can get her finger like so. And what we're going to do is not do exactly this. All right, we're just going to do an indication that indicates that her fingers are interlaced like that. And we'll come around the cup like this. And then we'll do this. And that's what she should be doing to hold it. The thumb coming out the other side. As I oft say when it comes to these things, You have to fix the maquettes. They're going to be weird. Anyway, I mean, just the nature of the beast. So, like this elbow joint is completely borked. So you're going to have to fix it. There's no way we can use the maquette's elbow joint here. It's not the way the elbows work. So you'll have to go in and just fix it. It's the same down here with her. The bottom side of the joint. Just like that. Remarkably noisy. The other thing I have to decide is what's going on with the blanket here. So really, I think what she's got is she's got the blanket kind of coming up like this, kind of up and over her legs. More like this. And this is going to have to be one of those things where I'm going to have to duplicate this to make sure that the blanket stays exactly the same, because you really want it to look the same. The point that we're trying to make here is we want you to play the game of look for the differences, right? That's the game we want you to play here. At least that's what I want the audience to play. So we really don't want our feet are submerged. I'm trying to decide if this is enough of an irritation for me to re-render, because we've got a couple of other problems. Her breasts also went center instead of out, and so I think I may be annoyed enough. I want you to re-render, so we're going to do that. Let's go fix her. There. So they've got. Hey Colton, how you doing, bro? I'm trying to. They're installing solar panels. I asked them to wait until, after 11. They didn't. So we just have to put up with the fact that they're putting the solar panels now, right now, whether I like it or not. Today is solar panel day. Either that or Taco Bell last night. I can't tell. Could be either. Anyway, we're going to try to fix. Chang has some problems. Yes, I remember you telling me about that. They're working on the. Okay, so her legs don't twist anymore, which means I'm going to have to move her hips. There we go. So as I was explaining, these bottom two panels, they need to match. They need to be identical because the concept that I'm coming up with is that they're talking, these two characters are talking, and the body language changes between them. Man. I was saying to Brent, I had asked them back in November, how loud will it be? Not loud at all, don't worry. I said, because I broadcast in the mornings. And so, oh yeah, no, you'll be able to broadcast just fine. It won't even be picked up by the microphones. Right? It totally does. Oh man. I swear, guys, that's so loud. Okay, so I could redo this, but the good news is that really, honestly, I'm not going to redo, because actually we've got Jen correctly. So instead of redoing all of this, I'm just going to redo just chain and then cut the two together and then just stick the two panels together. Because we know that we reduced it 55%. So do. Waiting for a render. Waiting for a render. I actually kind of feel bad for my computer. Because I got a computer it's designed for rendering. And you can rig Daz Studio to go through the GPU so that it uses the rather hot graphics card. But so does OBS. So like everybody's scrambling for GPU resources to broadcast. There we go. So we're going to call this panel 6, and then we're going to call it patch. We're patching up panels 5 and 6. Okay. So part of the reason we have to patch these panels is because going in here, first of all, I noticed her breasts are screwed up. All of the poses assume that everybody's got these huge breasts that are like this. So the moment she moves her arms in like this, the breasts have to squish together like this. And it's like, man, the men who designed these things, you know, they've got problems. So I've always, especially with Chang, I have to readjust the original render's breasts. Bringing up the patch. Okay, this guy is going to go down 55%. because that's what we know everything does here is 55%. So we'll do this. Then what we'll do is we'll zoom back in. And since this is a patch, it should just fit right on top of the other guy. Right? And now what we do is we trim everything from this side over out. And the patch is in, and nobody's the wiser. Right? Okay. And I'll just merge the patch in and unmerge the patch. Why is this different? This shouldn't be different at all. The angle didn't change. Camera didn't move. So this shouldn't be a thing. I don't know why it's doing this. It's kind of weird. Oh, well. Now nobody's the wiser. Yeah. Right? Fun part about 3D rendering. Fun with 3D rendering. The other thing we should do at this point is just make sure things are clear back here. Like the top of the... Some of this stuff didn't quite render entirely. This is fine. We just go back and kind of tap it in, just make sure it's all right. So. Okay, now we should be good to go through and draw. Are you working though, Colton? Are you working? Should be working. Get to work. Okay, I'm going to draw Chang first for multiple reasons. One, we've got to get this blanket to be exactly the same in both of these. So she's pulled the blanket up onto her like this. And it's going to go up and over. But in the previous shot that we had of her, her feet were not under the blanket. So I want to make sure that her feet match. Everybody's like, why do you go through all of this stress? It's important to me. Let's take a look at the previous page. And Chang is awesome. So now we're having internet connections. Problems with internet connection. So keep that in mind, guys. If we lose internet, I'm sorry. Looking at this page, we've gone too far. Gone too far. Gone too far. There we go. We need to zoom in, which apparently is hard to do. Okay, so it looks like both of her feet are out at the knee. So that's what we're after. And all the details. Okay, so the knee is where we're going to be at over here. So her feet are out at the knee. There we go. So we're just going to put the blanket like this and drape scrape it off the edge of the bed. And hello, Donald. Welcome to the show. It's the morning of construction, apparently. And they are putting in solar panels today. So we're going to have to put up with this for the entire show. Luckily, they had told me back in November that this process was very quiet and would never get picked up on my microphones. So, you know, I'm very pleased with that. Anyway. I'm gonna count our toes here. So I don't even know what the hell they're doing now. Ooh. My biggest problem is that I don't like loud noises, and this is very loud. And so it's kind of raising my anxiety a little, making me a little like jittery and anxious. Exactly. That's what solar panels are for. Actually, I am pretty pleased with the idea of the solar panels. What's going to end up happening is a couple of things. Not only will it be nice to have solar power at some point, but I mean, we'll be off the grid, which is a good one. We won't be totally off the grid, though. Turns out they did the engineering plans wrong on this, so. However, sell the power back to Excel. Yeah, actually, that's exactly what we're going to do. If it ever produces more. But part of the problem we've got, we're going to change modes here. Because I actually have. Okay, ready? Let's get up and stretch real quick and go for a quick jog. I'll be right back. All right. Quick jog to turn on the cooling systems in the house. All right. Well, yes, because I have probably a little too much technology. So you're right. I don't feel as guilty. Maybe I'll be fine. It does make me slightly anxious. So if I get jittery and talk too fast, you guys can understand. It's funny. It's the major reason why I'm not a fan of rifles, pistols, stuff like that. Is the It's not necessarily anything to do with the weapons. It has everything to do with the noise level. So, but I appreciate it. I appreciate you thinking of me over there, Donald. It is all good. I will be fine. I just be antsy a little while. That's all. When the show is over, we'll be able to. I'll be able to just turn on music really loud, and that'll help some. Although this is remarkably loud. Yeah. Yep. It's interesting because I often hear about people who have it'll win the day. I'll be fine. I'll go over and read a little bit of the Tao Te Ching. It'll be great. It is interesting though, because I have often and to say I've been intrigued sounds, it doesn't sound exactly like I mean it to, but I'm not sure how else to put it. I'm often intrigued by people who have compound issues, like they'll have an issue that is compounded by another issue, which is compounded by another issue. And that intrigues me in a positive way. I mean, as in, I know a lot of people get kind of grief for that kind of stuff, and I'm not trying to join that particular club, but one of the reasons that I don't wear, the reason I'm saying this is I've got psoriasis inside my ear canal, and so I can't wear earbuds easily, and kind of hate to say that because that's kind of like, oh, I'm trying not to. You've got a great thing you're recommending there. Put in all these lines. So using these maquettes, I do this for speed, to make it go faster. But it has, up until recently, I felt very guilty about it, right? Because I'm effectively tracing is what I'm doing here, and it's made me feel rather guilty. And then I found out about the manga Gantz, and this is almost exactly the artist's workflow in Gantz. And this is almost exactly what he does, the same exact thing. He builds the scene in 3D, and then he just goes back over and fills the characters in. And since then, I have felt a whole lot more comfortable doing this. And this was like last week that I discovered this. With a lot of this, we have to fix anatomy pieces. The 3D models never get things like knees and elbows. They never get them right. So we have to her calf, when her leg bends, that calf expands out on either side. So I'm going to have to bring her calf out from the maquette. And I actually probably ought to bring it up more like that too, right? Just to give it more angle like that. And give it more shape. Because really that's the way so the maquette didn't actually poof out the calf like it should. And instead we ended up having to manually put that in. So there's still a lot of skill that needs to go into drawing this. Right? Everybody is a very unique individual. That's the best part about people, though, in my opinion. It's what I love about people. Everybody on this thread, we've got Brent, we've got you, Donald, we've got Colton, all three of you guys, very different folks. And I'm always grateful to have you guys here because you're very different and interesting and diverse folks, you know? Maybe they've gone to lunch break. I say that because I'm probably... Always catch your eyes, huh? Well, don't know about where we are with Chang. She may or may not have shapely legs that are shapely enough. She's kind of small and thin, and that may or may not be an attractive thing. Some people think that's attractive, and some people don't. That's the best part about everything, though, right? Because, attraction isn't limited to one person. Something we don't seem to ever get with modern media is that. Now I need to look at where her hair is at this point. Right? Right? Amelia Clark is a great example of a person who does a great job of taking care of herself and doing it right and getting everything squared away. I feel kind of like that. I don't know if that might be right. I don't know. That's probably okay. She does a lot of good work. Yeah, well, I think that really, honestly, the reason that Chang is small and thin is twofold. One, the planet that she's from, the world that she came from, that was low gravity. So they get taller and thinner because of the nature of the low gravity. Two, when you have the culture was also Chinese based, specifically a group of Chinese left, branched off, decided that they were going to be exclusionists and they were going to only breed inside their Chinese group. So it's a recursion of a Chinese culture. So they're already sort of the smaller size people in our world. They tended to be a smaller size. So she's stuck with the genetic code that she got, whatever it was. Whether she likes it or not, she probably doesn't like it. I'd be willing to bet. I'd put money in that she's not ecstatic about it. So part of this, and that's why she has, like, you can see the epicanthal folds in her eyes and stuff like that. And in this, she's not actually looking up at, she's looking down at her drink. She's saying here, I am not your skipper anymore. To Jim. Jen, over on the other side over there, is saying, Skipper, you need to lay off on the drinking. And what she's saying here is, I'm not your skipper anymore. Right? So she's, I wouldn't say she's snapping at Jim, but she's, kind of, she's snarking a little. Snapping, snarking, it's all the same, right? So I'm gonna, we're dropping her eyes down, even though the maquette is saying that we need to be looking up. Yeah, actually, lashing out's pretty much all she knows. It's what she knows to do best. She's good at it. I'm actually going to bring her eyebrows down a little on this one too. She's furrowed her brow on this. Right, so kind of bringing her eyebrows down. We're gonna, where her hair is in this one, we've got everything kind of going to one side. We've got a couple of free strands in the front, so let's kind of do that. So we're going to come out and around like so, like this. And then everything else got put behind this ear. So she managed to get at least some of it straightened out. Right. We have to think about what our characters do and what they're doing. So, like, what's her business here? What's she doing? She's drinking the coffee. But did she do this? Did she have a moment where she was able to do that? Put the hair, because she's leaning forward, her hair is going to start drooping down into her face and potentially also into her coffee, right? Which would irritate the heck out of me. I mean, I wouldn't want hair in my coffee. So I'm going to do this. And just make sure it's sealed off. And we're going to make sure it's sealed, because before we do something like that, where we want, she's looking into her coffee and wondering, the hell is she doing with her life? All right, so we'll straighten this up. Give her one hair like this. She certainly, and she just woke up. Poor girl. Right, she just woke up, and here's Jen being mean, making her like think and be a human, all of that crap, right at the first part of the morning. Right? Who likes that? Nobody likes that. Let's turn this off and take a look at what we've got. Oh, it's great, actually. Maybe this hair is a little weird. Now we take the maquette away so they can kind of look at what we're doing here. These are often called baby hairs, little hairs that stick out on Asians. Come out along here and along here. Anything could be happening. I think she wasn't having an intense dream, though. I think she was way hungover. Way more hungover than she wants to admit. Now we're throwing things again. All right. That looks good. We really cannot actually undermine the fact that, like I said, apologies for those of you who are easily offended. But she doesn't wear clothes when she naps. So that's got to be done. Okay. Now we're going to take this. Maybe we should put the cup in. Yeah, I'm going to put the cup in. So we're going to duplicate this layer. And all we're going to keep from this layer is the cup. Okay, so we're going to turn that off. And the reason is because we need to be able to take, Romulan ale. Important note for the galley, Romulan ale do not be served at future functions. all we're doing here is taking this sequence right here, and we're just going to keep the cup. Because we're going to need it for moving it down. We're going to move this one layer down. Now we can take this and move it to here. We can see exactly what's going on. There. This will also allow me to put steam in on her cup. So we're going to take, should be interchangeable. It isn't. Okay. I'm going to take this. Let's just say Control E. That should just give us just her with her mug. Right? Then we don't have to do anything else with her, I don't think, except, so we're doing some kind of different techniques on what we usually do in this particular shot because of the fact that I want to duplicate it so that the scene is identical on both frames so that you can see the movement. And so that's what we're really after here. So let's go on ahead and see how much of what we select here selects. Yeah, that's stupid stuff. Okay, I'm starting to feel aggravated about this. Okay, well. Yes. So, as we have discussed before, I feel like 500 years from now, people will be less body shamey, annoyed with their bodies, stuff like that. So, I feel like when we get to 500 years from now, people will be less aggravated, annoyed, whatever, embarrassed. So the point of this scene is not gratuitous. It's not intended to be gratuitous at all. This is gonna end up accidentally erasing her. I don't want to. So it's not intended to be gratuitous at all. It's literally intended to show that, well, nobody in this era cares anymore on whether they are naked or not, because a body is just a body. And that's the point. So, and that's one of the points of my comic. One of the ongoing points. There will be nudity in my comics. It's just that it won't be sexual necessarily, nor will it be gratuitous per se. I'm sure there will be people who are like, it's gratuitous. Yeah, well. But that's not the point. Right, so. There will always be people who yep. Well, and that's kind of the way it is in this household and has been for a very long time. And in fact, it's becoming sort of an issue right now because the 11-year-old hasn't quite grasped that maybe he ought to put clothes on when there are guests around. Hasn't gotten that image through his head yet. And being his typical 11-year-old self, he's arguing with me, well, you said that I shouldn't have body shame. It's not a matter of body shame. This is a matter of cultural agreement. He has to argue with me about everything, as only kids can do. All right. We're just cleaning this up between the connection here. And honestly, our culture does an awful lot of horrible things to people and shaming them for sizes and bodies types and, boobs not too big, boobs too big, bellies too big, bellies not big enough, things like that. There's way too much of it in our culture anyway. I'm not going to do that because that will change between panels. So we're going to have to come in with the steam in a minute. Okay, bringing in the background here, or getting rid of that. And we will tag it, right? And I think it grabbed everything, so we'll go down to this level and we'll hit delete. You know what I just did though? I just wiped out the level that would have told me whether I caught everything or not, because I don't think I did. Like, that doesn't look like that's part of it. We actually could probably check by turning on the background and seeing what's getting wiped out and what's not. Because now I'm seeing, yeah, we're back. Your lunch break's over. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to turn that and that off. Deselect. And now these two are going to become one unit. Now I'll be able to duplicate it now as its unit. Duplicate the layer. And we're going to move this duplicate into this layer. Okay. Not the layer we wanted to duplicate. That's the layer we wanted. Right? Nope. No. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. Because it's there. Did it just not work? It didn't work. Okay, that's fine. Copy. Now go over here to this and hit paste. That'll duplicate the layer. There. 13 doing? Anybody know? Does anybody know what layer 13 is doing? Why did I get a half in phase? What's going on? Okay, you know what? I'm just not going to mess with it. We're going to do this. Key select. We'll just select everything that's white around her, which apparently is not that. We are 1 minute from the end of the show. We didn't finish this, but we'll finish this page today. It won't be a problem. Is this you? It is you. Why are you? Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Control shift I. Oh. Control shift I. What the heck is going on? You know, like we're having the confusion side here. That's like you shouldn't be this confused, guys. And I appreciate it, but you shouldn't be this confused. There we go. Okay. Now what we've done is matched Chang from panel 1 to panel 2. And all we're going to do now is in this panel, we're going to go in, and this time we're going to raise her eyes up. And I'll go over just a little bit for this. Right? And she's not saying anything in this one. I'll close her mouth. There we go. She was. Well, and that's, Chang avoiding, right? I mean, that's what Chang's doing. She's avoiding talking about stuff. She's good at that. That's one of her things. She's horribly, horribly good at. And that is avoiding talking about stuff. So now she's looking back up there. Let's go ahead and put in. And we want to make sure that we go back to this layer and put in different steam. That way, the steam is moving. And her eyes move up. But she's not. You know what we can also do for her is raise her eyebrows up. Let's bring her eyebrows up too. And what we've got here is that she's not unaware that she's pissing off Jen. Right? So from this panel to this panel, it's only a small amount of difference in what her facial expression looks like. Yeah, she's watching the heat rise from the coffee in the first panel. She's doing the "I'm not talking to you, Donald," sort of thing. Where there, she looks down, kind of like, and then she looks up in the next frame, like, "Oh, I think I may have made Donald mad. That's not good." That's sort of what we've got going on here. Is in the first frame, she's like, "I'm not your skipper." And then the second frame, she's looking up. And if we look from these two frames, right, from here, where we need to put in a new piece of white for this. But in here, in this first frame here, it's clear that Jen is like, "Hey, you need to stop." And then she says, "I'm not your skipper anymore." Well, that wasn't exactly what she was saying. That wasn't what Jen was talking about. So in the second one, Jen does this. Right? Like, screw you. I mean, like, really? Come on. Yeah. Chang thinks of you. Hi. Anyway. So the point being that in frame one, we've got sort of one action that Chang's doing. In frame two, we have a different action. We're trying to kind of illustrate this function. So there we go. Let's save. Right. All right. You guys are no longer going to be subject to the construction going on my roof. So it's always that. We'll be back tomorrow. I hope that we'll have Pepper here tomorrow. Man, it's already 31 degrees outside. I'm looking forward to the cooler days. Hopefully, if all goes well, my best friend's going to be over tonight to work on fans and wiring and things like that. Try to kind of get things squared away. But he also just got done redoing his deck with Trex, and he's got a lot of Trex left over. And this little deck right out here is only 8 feet by about 4 feet. So it's not a very big area. And so I said, "Hey, got any of that Trex left over?" And so he said, "Yeah, actually I do." So I'm hoping he will bring it back to me and bring the extra. Hey, Brent, you're here just in time for us to quit the show. So anyway, yeah, cooler days without too much snow. Although, I mean, really, honestly, I'll do photography shoots when it's cool and no snow, and then when it's snowing, I'll draw from right here. Hopefully, I'll have a desk that goes off this edge over here a little bit, and I'll be able to I'll be able to watch the snow from there and just be perfectly happy and comfortable. That's what I'm hoping for. This sliding glass door is triple pane, and so it's actually, you can stand right next to it on a cold winter day and not really feel what's going on the other side. But the truth is that what I'm kind of hoping for is I'm hoping that we're going to have sort of a mild fall, and some of the days that we're doing our show, I can do the show from my little patio out there. Go out there, sit on the patio, and draw or paint. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, I mean, I can certainly take. I have now. Now I have three of these guys, right? So I've got this guy, I've got this guy, and I've got one that's mounted now over there, and it's disabled because I've got to run a line up and over and down so that you can get camera on my art desk. But with three of these now, we've got the ability to do all kinds of stuff. So, kind of looking to see what kind of trouble we can get into. But I'm sure that if I put a camera right here, right here, to look at what we're doing, I could probably just turn the camera around and you could watch the snowfall. You know, when we get there, we're not there yet. It's all right. All right. Well, that's it, man. I think we are out of show for the day. So I'm probably just going to spend the rest of the afternoon. It was kind of fun, wasn't it? Having Geek Tink was fun last night. Fascinating topic we talked about, though. Yeah, always fascinating to me. So cool. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have Pepper. That'd be great. I always hope for these things. Okay. Thank you all for joining me today. I haven't seen Colton in a while. I'm assuming he's just plugging away over there. So thanks, Colton. Thanks, Donald. Thanks, Brent. I appreciate having all three of you here. So I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye. Computer, good night.